settle down. Hello, everyone. I welcome each and every one of us to the June Hangout. I'm Oluwadunsin Ogunleye, and today, as we all know, that the June is dedicated to our fathers. The topic for us today is the vital role of fathers in family health and well-being. I also have with me here Mr. Tanel. Mr. Tanel is the program manager for EOC and is the one in charge of that club. Actually, that club gave birth to Mindful Mom. The idea came up from the Dad Club. So today I'm going to have Mr. Tanel with me. I'm going to take the first presentation, then I will call in Mr. Tanel to take the second presentation. I have some questions with me already that people have sent in that we're going to discuss after the presentations. And if you still have questions, kindly send it to the chat. We're going to take your questions after the presentation. We want to make it interactive as much as possible. Please, let's feel free. You can send your questions anonymously as well. I also have here our precious Mrs. Deuce. She has been so supportive from Harmony Healthcare with resources, with the love, with souvenir. We're going to talk more about Harmony at the end of towards the end of the presentation. Going to my presentation, the vital role of fathers in family health and well-being, supporting health and well-being together. If you see the caption at the top says, no father, no mother. That means without father, we can't be called mother. It shows how important our fathers are in the home. To the next slide. Father's impact is so essential. Fathers play a crucial role in promoting family health and well-being through their love, their support, and guidance. We really need them in the home. We cannot do it alone. Now we want to go through the map of the role of a father figure. One, we have the emotional and psychological well-being of fathers. It helps us to emotionally stable. When we have fathers in the home, it helps us to be stable. They serve as role model to us and the children. When fathers are lovely, studies have shown that when fathers are lovely, it creates a mindset to children as well to make them lovely to their friends at school. Then growing up, they have happy home. It helps them to have good mindset towards taking care of their own children and wives or maybe husband as well, because they learn that from their father. Father has a lot of impact in this. Three, mental health. It helps children mental health. It helps the wife's mental health as well. So our father are really doing a very good job when they are lovely in the home. I had a story of a child. The child always feels so sad. And by the time they at school, by the time the teacher approached this child, what happened? He said, I don't like the way my father do treat my mom. This could be a very sad scenario. And in this kind of situation, it's very important for for our fathers to be so mindful of the way they react even to situation at home, because it has effect on the children's well-being. It has effect on the mother. Two, educational success. When father is there for the children, it helps in academic support. Research have told us that when children are closer to their father, maybe they see their father around in the home, it helps them to perform better in school, because fathers have this skill of managing children's academic performance. They can easily go through with them, oh, how was school today? What are the things you've learned? Can you tell me more what happened in school? This father figure play vital role in situations like this, and it serves as encouragement and motivation. Our men are known for this. They have this bravery skill. Oh, you can do it. Don't worry. The best is in you. Just relax. Don't worry. It's just a matter of time. You don't say no for an answer. With the time, you are going to get there. So in the course of that, that will motivate that child to put in the best. We'll be like, oh, my dad is always so there to encourage me. My dad is there, is always a support motion for me. Three, social development. It helps with social skills, discipline, and boundaries. Yes, social skills. Fathers are very good at, okay, let's go out to the park, let's go to the beach, let's go to we want to go to a particular place for sightseeing and co. Yes, mothers do that as well, but bringing it from my home perspective, throughout the year I may not go out at all. I want to go to the park. I don't even think of going to the park or going to any amusement park. But my husband is good at that, and I'm relating with that from my husband's perspective. He's always good at, oh, let's go out. Let's go and we can go to the park. Let's go and do some jumping. Let's walk around with the children. It's a very good thing to do in our homes. Then discipline. Children that have access to their fathers are more, they have this more discipline than when the father figure is not around them. You can even tell when children have father figure around them, because they have access to more discipline, and father can define boundaries. They can easily, they are so firm with their boundaries. Mothers at times, it's easy for children to like come to mothers and say, oh, mommy, you know how we do it. I want you to give me few more minutes. But when father say no, no is no. The children will not even want to like go back. They don't want to go back to like, daddy, help me. Daddy, you can help me to do this. But when mothers say no, children can still like, mommy, please, and you'll be like, okay, no problem, you can do that. So go with 4, family dynamics, partnership and cooperation. These are one of the role of a father figure. Partnership and cooperation, conflict resolution. They have this special skill of resolving conflicts. They have this special skill of resolving conflict. For 5, long-term impact, life choices, generational influence. They have this generational influence in them. Fathers, they are pillars of family strength and happiness. Father's impact is very vital, as I said. A father's figure, presence, and activities involvement are essential in nurturing a mental, healthy, well-adjusted, and thriving family. Fathers contribute to the emotional, physical, social, and educational aspects of their children's lives, fostering a supportive and loving environment that benefits the entire family unit. Finally, recognizing the vital role of fathers, we also celebrate the incredible strength of mothers who often fulfill dual roles with remarkable resilience by fostering approaches that promote unity and support within our homes. We can create a nurturing environment for our children. Remember, a happy family leads to a thriving community. Thank you so much. Now I'm going to welcome Mr. Tanel to come forward for his presentation before we have a question and answer.
Hi, everyone. It is my extreme pleasure to share in this moment. I'm always excited talking about fatherhood and fatherhood initiative, fatherhood engagement, so on and so forth. I personally don't believe that only moms are able to provide nurturing. It is a contributory role, and that nurturing piece looks different. I'd like to share greeting on behalf of my colleagues and my management leadership at the EOC, Mr. Eric Paulson, my supervisor, Ms. Anita Kennedy Shiver. And to congratulate you, Ms. Angelo, for the good work you've been doing in educating parents and providing the skills and the training that is oftentimes absent
Mm.
and unavailable. And you have taken this initiative. I even know that that was birthed from the Fathers Club at the agency, and I'm even humbled to hear that. And I trust that even on this journey, that it just will just expand and expand. I started sharing the contents to as much people presently, and I'm sure more people will hear in on this conversation. A very vital topics, the vital role of fathers in family health and well-being. And you just went through a whole um, study and research, not just on your feelings or your opinion, but what research suggests. And I can, but it's not my experience, but I've heard many stories of the challenges in co-parenting.
Mm.
And especially when it becomes personal and if the two parties aren't necessarily together, how that affects the health and the well-being of the child. I just wanted to focus on just a few points, even some that you've already touched on, but to even elaborate on it. One of the most important feature of the father's contribution is that the father provides the identity for that child.
Mhm.
There's no two way about that piece. It tells that child who they are.
Mhm.
It is the father's name that the child carries,
Mm.
and that says a lot. Um, the father is a DNA. He is a nurturer, as I said before. He sees into a future for that child that not that the mother is incapable of doing, but there is a different lens in the um, the makeup of the male figure that is able to interpret and to speak into that child's well-being and future, and so therefore providing that platform for basically providing that child's inheritance. It is a father that leads that piece. Studies have shown that involved fathers provides important support in raising children um, to serve as models for their development. Children with involved loving fathers are significantly more, and it was shared before by Ms. Angele, likely to do well in school. They will have healthier self esteem. They will exhibit empathy and pro social behavior in compared to children who have uninvolved fathers. Additionally, more engaged fathers, whether living with or apart from their children, can help foster a child's health, physical, emotional, and social development. Numerous studies have been done and conducted to prove this fact. Also, a father, I know the challenges and the rewards of being new dads are immense, as a new dad myself. So the National Fatherhood Media, they did a study and a whole campaign around this piece that especially for new fathers, that they make a difference in the lives of their children by being positively and actively involved. Um, my baby is just one, and there is not one event that I even try to miss, even if I have to take my lunch break around it. Demonstrating a measure of involvement does so much, even for the life of a 1 year old who my wife and I enrolled into gymnastics, enrolled into dance. When she sees a specific face, not that she doesn't love her mom too, but there is just a different measure of radiance, and that's just the involvement piece. I know that for many dads, what they're able to do in their specific season or their specific time now in that nurturing role is to be that provider.
Mm.
So they may be the ones working longer hours, and as a result, are unable to be as present, right? And it is that teamwork with the mom and dad to say, okay, I'll ensure that the necessary provisions are taken care of. So I will not always be present, but I'll try my best. I'm making these sacrifices so that we won't lack. And so that's a nurturing piece. Provision is a nurturing piece. And I congratulate all fathers that have demonstrated the fortitude, the character, the will to ensure that their family is taken care of. Security. I can't overemphasize that piece. As men, as caregivers, we are natural, instinctive uh, protectors of our family. We will defend to the end. We defend our family's honor. Again, I spoke about the DNA. We are the carriers of it. And so we have to protect that name. We have to protect the safety and the well being of the family. And that too is our nurturing contribution. So it's not to say that it looks like that of the mothers, which I'm not going to say is soft or passive. No, they just carry and look differently. So, not to say that the tender love and care and the patience piece that the mothers will contribute, not that men or father or male givers are unable to do that, but studies have showed how effective or more effective the moms are able to carry that role. And so, it's not a competition in roles. All nurturing contributions, they just look differently for both the mom and the dad. So, I just want to make that clarification as I go forward. And so traditionally, Father's Day has been, we just celebrated Father's Day, has been about thanking fathers for their help, their role in teaching new skills. Sometimes even I joke a lot. While many dads may deserve praise for their reasons, in fact, many support their children in much deeper and less obvious ways. Development psychology is now uncovering a multifaceted understanding that goes beyond the simplistic or gendered view of the role of fathers. Now, in the past, many researchers considered fathers to be secondary caregivers. However, important societal shifts have led to increased father involvement across a variety of familial settings. According to statistics, even study done in Canada, the number of, involved fathers trying to be even more present has risen.
Yeah.
And you've seen that impact on the well-being and the development of the child. So I don't even want to touch even on some of the areas that Ms. Ungle have already addressed, which is also in my notes, but that's okay.
From father's perspective.
From the father's perspective, everything that Ms. Ungle shared is a fact. No argument to it. It looks differently in different families. And not to say that, and I've heard this argument sometimes, not all dads are deadbeats. Please. Be careful how we carry that notion, that belief system. It is unfortunate that, some fathers, whether by not having the opportunity to, because there are those relationship dynamics that, because of those conflicts, resulted in that. Or just those fathers who just did not care at all to wanting to be involved. But there are many good fathers out there who are trying their best to play their nurturing role to ensure that their family is safe, provided for, protected, and that their DNA remains and sustains for the inheritance of that child. So thank you for your time. If there are any questions, I'm still here.
Yes, I have some questions there. I have some comments on the floor.
Sure.
Yeah. You can sit down.
Oh,
But I don't. So I have some questions here. The first question says, I have been married for 10 years, but my husband is not supporting me financially. What can I do? I have been married for 10 years, but my husband is not supporting me financially. What can I do?
why is he not support? So I generally ask some more questions because I don't want to try to interpret what could be those rationales. So I don't know the specifics of all of it, but what I could share is that there are resources in New York State, if you're living in Nassau County, social service support that try to ensure to an extent, the security of mothers. I know that you could check with the social service offices. New York State has several resource offices that could help in supporting that gap.
Mm.
As I said, I don't know the nature of the reason why the father is unable to support,
Mm.
and I don't know what specific resource support that you're requesting, but I'll say check with the Social Security offices. They have a wide range of resources across Nassau County. Harmony Health is here. I know they support with the well-being and the health piece as well. So check with those community resources that are able to assist, and they will point you to the specific areas for your specific need.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Second question says, my father spends money on personal luxuries, but does not contribute to household expenses. How should we address this?
So I can, so I don't have all the answers to that question, but one of the things I know is that space like this helps to provide the education and the information that will mature that father in understanding that his role is not just as a sperm donor, but to be a father. By being a father, it takes on a whole different kind of responsibility, maturity. If it is that everything that was shared here today is going to be accomplished. And so the state of mind has to be right. And it's not necessarily because you provide, you help to carry a child into this world. It doesn't necessarily mean that you had the mature fortitude or that maturity is just going to click in. Sometimes for some people it takes a while. It takes some time. It takes some hurdles and some experience to have that light bulb click. I know moms oftentimes will make the argument, but it never looked like that for me. I had to just learn into that, and still, and that's even just a belief system, because not all moms have to just whatever. But I know for moms there is this natural, instinctive fight to mature quickly. I kind of mature fast in getting this right. And so I suppose connecting that with the necessary support framework to help him and help his maturity in navigating what becomes more priority is going to help him in that piece. But some maturing has to happen, some education, some counsel, some fathers who, that if you know of any fathers that are acting in a particular role that is ideal, quote unquote ideal, that you would desire for your child's father to start emulating, you could try to have that person have a conversation with them. That could be a start as well in helping that maturity. It's going to take some maturity and time.
Yeah, thank you. My husband lost his job and is not actively looking for a new one, leaving me to manage all the bills. What steps should I take?
That's
Okay. Regarding that question, first, she has to communication. I think is the key. First, talk with him. What is the reason why he is lacking? Because maybe he lost his job. Remember the topic of the role of the fathers in the well-being of the children, the childhood. Talk with him. Maybe he's into lacking that depression, and she doesn't know. Like talk with him. What is the reason he is lacking in not looking for another job? Because like I said, in the like also like the first question too, the kid is communication. When she said she's not helping her financially, define financially, because if the father is the provider, he is providing, paying the rent, paying for the food, paying for other things. Maybe he is not giving money to go to his shopping, but he is helping with pay all the bills in the rent. How she define financially in that part, that's the point. The first thing is communication. Communicate with her. Try to understand what is the reason he is lacking in moving on and get another opportunity or another job opportunity.
Thank you. My father never shows affection or expresses love. How can I improve our emotional connection?
So sometimes it is true that some fathers are trying to do the best they know how to.
Mm.
And oftentimes, when you see that playing out, sometimes it's cultural.
Mhm.
Culturally speaking, I can speak from my Jamaicanness that I never heard a lot of "I love
I
you."
love you. Yeah.
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 But
South
in
Africa,
in
it's
in
natural.
in the West Indian culture, it is oftentimes it's a masculinity thing in that space, but it never necessarily mean that they don't love you.
Mhm.
They demonstrate it in their actions, and sometimes you feel it in their actions too,
Yeah.
with the rebuke. But you don't want to be that bastard child according to scriptures, right? And so, which love goes both ways, and so sometimes some chastening is a part of that experience. And so I'd say to that, it could be that that father never had that experience or did not know what that looked like, or it could be a cultural thing that he's just carrying on, that he's thinking that it's okay not to say or to embrace. Um, And so it looks different culture to culture. It doesn't necessarily mean that that father is not engaging in love, but again, communication. My colleague here shared that earlier. That's a big piece.
Mm.
Saying "I love you" goes a far way in making that DNA that I spoke to
Mm.
live, and making that DNA share that same empathy and that course along generation after generation. Here's a new way of demonstrating with language, saying it. You are amazing. You are special. Speaking life into that child, speaking this positive um, space in that child's emotional well-being does go a far way. And so saying "I love you" is a part of that development.
Mm.
And that will take practice, that will take some time. Again, communication, encouraging it more often.
Thank you.
Another suggestion is she asks how I can improve them.
Yes.
Try to make a game in the family, a family game, and try to put a challenge. Express this song. Tell the other one what do you feel and what do you feel for them. And then it's a game, but also try to involve daddy that don't express the affection to show that this you challenge you. How tell me what do you feel for my brother or my sister, my mom. And it's a game, it's fun. They create the fun also, tell together about some the feelings about that. And then little by little daddy will be learning how express or talk about his emotion because like my college said here too, that's about the culture. I grow up and in my case it's my mother. My mother was that affected. In my case was my father. I was too attached to my father because he always was too close and kissing, hugging, and my mom was that. But at the end I understood my mom was grown up like that, like a man. His father grew up like a man because she was the only child. And she grew up like that. She didn't learn how to show her feelings, so show affection. But at the end, she learned it. And then because for that reason, like I said, it's communication, share family time, and it's okay. And make that like fun and show that the challenge.
Thank you.
That would help. I mean, as a person, so I hardly hear my dad say "I love you." I hardly hear that, but I know he does because if he doesn't, he won't be going out every day to go provide for me. So it's sometimes, like you said, the culture. The culture doesn't. I mean, it beholds the man to learn to come out of that shell, to understand that. Listen, I think the world is shifting to where the children are getting this idea of, oh, if you don't say it, that means you don't mean it.
Somebody else will tell them.
Somebody else will tell them, and then somebody else telling them I love you from outside. They feel that, oh, so
That this is
that my dad or my mom doesn't love me. That's why they're not saying it. But it's not like that. So we have to come out of that shell of culture or whatever to come out and tell our kids truthfully that we do love them. Even if we're showing it affectionately, but we should be able to tell them, let them see that, listen, we love you. I love you. I want you to do right. And I'm doing my best for you. So these are the things I want you to do. And that communication alone will give them a sense of belonging in the community, and also knowing that, listen, even somebody else tell me outside and they don't love me, I know my dad and my mom love me. That's a good thing.
Thank you so much. Okay. I feel lonely. Is that what I said now? What can I do to improve our
Yeah.
Okay. My husband always dismisses my feelings, make me feel invalidated. How should I handle this? I think this is in line with five.
That's just like you said, like you said before, communication.
Okay.
You have to let him know. I mean, sometimes as a lady, because most of the time we discussing this now, the lady aspect. The ladies are asking us the question, the men. The ladies feel sometimes that we know everything, that we should be able to be their own. We are number one, we are not God. That's something I want to put out there. Men are not God. We we are just like we are human like you. So all we do is if you don't tell us, we may not know. So if there's anything, and sometimes like for me as a person, I take some things for granted, like just like doesn't mean I don't care. You know, it means that I understand you. I believe in you, you can do better. Even if I don't say it with my words. Sometimes I see the challenges you're going through, even if I don't come and tell you, oh, you're doing a good job, doesn't mean I don't appreciate you. I love you for that reason, and I know that you can do better than that. And sometimes I try to push my wife, I try to push her to do better by supporting her dream as much as possible and also making her understand that listen, it doesn't matter what anybody else says, you're good at what you do. So sometimes I may not say it by words, I may just say it by saying, listen, keep going on. Don't be discouraged. And with that, it will improve the relationship. And then as a lady, come out and say something. Hello, I need help. I can't be doing all this by myself. If you don't say something, you might think it's good. An example, just like a man coming home every day, he sees that oh, the clothes are folded, the plates are washed, everything is looking good. He doesn't know what the lady went through to make sure everything is good and also still do our own work from you know. We coming together from outside, right? We get home, the next thing the man is sitting there and saying, I'm hungry. We just came together. You understand? And a couple of days ago, this happened, and I was like, we got home together just from outside, and I said, I'm hungry. She said, you just came, right? I said, yeah, we just came together, but I'm hungry. You know, my best question is that you should go bring the food, you know. And she was running here and there and here and there. And someone was now telling my mother, listen, boy, why don't you just stand up and give a helping hand? Somehow. So I had to stand up, do some things. Why she do something, do something. Before you know it, you're able to take care of everything and then you can eat. Right? So, but if she didn't say something, I would just sit down there, play with my phone, right? And expect that the food should be ready. And if it's not ready, as a man, you know how it is. You start thinking, an hungry man is an hungry man. You start thinking, what's happening here?
But even just to add into that point, though, in as much as and I guess that is why in most I can say this, but in most also it is that the father it is expected to play the leading role.
Yeah.
And in playing that leading role, oftentimes separate from being the father, but by being the husband as well, it is our part of our duty to play that discerning role.
Yes.
So because sometimes we know that our partner may not necessarily communicate those concerns and those challenges, sometimes we have to be even so much more mindful and paying attention over time because these things don't happen in silos or just random. You will see the signs and the antecedents of them, and so we have to pay attention to her needs, her behavior. Because she's trying to communicate something without even saying it. And I've come to learn that. I'm not just saying this off the cup of my head. I've come to learn that the body language and the posturing is their communication.
You read my mind. I just want to say that too. You know, like, and try to understand the perception, you know, because like in the question to say, teenage young pushing like her down, in another word, is because his perception is not her perception. Maybe what he means is not really what you understood. You know, and that means sometimes she put herself because she understood know the meaning that the what he want to say.
Mm.
And like I said, another thing that is make sure to also try to let him know. Let him know how that comments or how that his word make her feeling, you know. If she don't say that, he never understood, he will continue doing because he don't know that is hurting her.
Yeah.
You know, that's the perception.
Yeah.
Perception, we talk about it.
Thank you.
As far as men, we will talk. Our communication is different from
Yeah. Thank you so much. Before I go to the next question, I just want to make this announcement for our virtual audience. Please, if you want to contribute to any of these questions, because we want to really make it interactive, not only to those that are in person, those that are connected virtually as well. If you're on Google Meet, on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, please, you can write in the comment section. If you're on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, if you're on Google Meet, you can press the hands up icon so that I unmute. I think you are muted, so you can easily contribute as well. We want to hear your opinion. Thank you so much for joining. Going to the next question. My husband is very strict with our children and often yells at them. How can we develop a more positive parenting approach?
So that could be twofold. We spoke about culture before, and sometimes that behavior is passed on from what their discipline looked like. Not necessarily to say that it is correct or it is ideal, or that it gives you the best result. But again, my colleague spoke to the piece of communication.
Yep.
And so discipline looks like this for me. I appreciate the fact that you are not allowing for behavior not being checked or unchecked. But can we try this? Can we try this way? Can we introduce this? How about if we try it this way, that it doesn't result in this? Because sometimes thinking that by doing in this way that I'm really not in full support of could trigger some other underlying stuff in the future. And so we want to be careful the measure of discipline. I don't know that there's an ideal discipline approach because every child is different. But again, communicating these things to say, can we, throw some ideas as to how we could approach this versus this without doing that, because these things can have scarring impact and effect on the child, and so the communication is vital.
Thank you.
And by the way, I've just been a parent for 8 minutes. So I'm not saying that I have all the answers to that. But
just to add to that, I know it's somehow sometimes it's hard on like you say culture first, but it's sometimes hard on the father, especially when he's encumbered with workload from work, then he's having issues at home, and then the kids are also not doing the right thing. That brings out the second nature of the man. You know, when you have, especially when you have kids in their teens or going to their teens, it's preferable to start when they're young so they know the difference of when that is angry and when that is not. You let them understand that, listen, as much as I love you and I do, I won't tolerate you doing this. So the more you're able to stake your ground, the more better for them. Yelling at them, I find that does not even help. That on my part, because I have to come to understand that. Why they didn't tell me, but I told their mom that why is dad always yelling at me? You know, and then I got to understand that it's not about the yelling. Something I now got to do of recent is that I have to now call them, make them see reason why what they're doing is bad, and then make them find a solution of how we can be better. And that has helped us well. Like yesterday or 2 days ago, you know, I was thinking about it. They're supposed to go for summer school, but the summer class has closed. So what do I do? So I started thinking about, okay, why don't I formulate a reason? I told them, okay, you and you go draw out a program for yourself for the summer. What you'll be doing every single day. Instead of me yelling, that would keep me away from yelling now. Every morning, go take your book, go take your instrument, go take this. Now you draw out a schedule for the day. So they have the schedule, they have when they're going to draw their schedule now. Now when they're done and they bring it to me, I will do what? I will see. So if you don't follow your schedule, you now know that you are the one that is messing up. That will save me some time to just, if I was the one that draw the schedule now, they don't follow it, I will have to yell. But now they are the one that draw the schedule. They will have to check mark it every single day and be sure that they have followed all through what they said they are doing.
It's planning.
But that saves me time too. That saves me yelling. And that will save me from shouting and beating somebody, right? So now I'll be very good. So that's what it is. Communication. It's not only about the man, it's about the woman trying to see. The man will come out with a lot of reasons why she gave. To be frank with you. Every man have that problem with, when it gets to the time when you're having too much challenges at work, especially you have a boss that doesn't want to listen to you, you start feeling that pain, and then you don't come home, and then you have bills to pay, you have things that you can.
Stress and pressures.
The stress comes in. Before you say talk about depression and everything like that, then the anger part of that man comes to play. So it's just for us to go to balance it and know how to deal with it. And as a man, I'll say this: women can deal with it. We can. So it's just for us to be able to understand and listen. Don't bring your work home, and don't let your home disturb your work. So that's just the balancing. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. My father is always busy with work and never attends my school events. How can I express my need for his presence? I know you're an expert in that.
I'm not an expert in that because I try to be present. So I've never looked at the lens on the other side. Because I try to make in as much busy as I am. It is intentional. You have to want to be available. And even sometime having a conversation with your supervisor. Because some fathers will tell you, like, I genuinely am conflicted with my work time. And it's going to affect my ability to always be present for these activities that I really want to be at. And so one of the things I always, because I've had this conversation before with a friend, so I did share with that friend that why not have a communication with your supervisor at the place of your job to find avenues of flexibility. Can I take my lunch break on meeting dates? That's where my family, has particular events that I want to be a part of. I do not want to take away from my assignments and my work schedule and so on and so forth. But I also want to be present. And I know you have a family too, and you see the nature of the impact of what being present will do for the family in the long term and for their own development and social, emotional well-being. Yes, it goes a far way. Absolutely goes a far way. And so I would encourage you to, I guess, share that as an advice with your co-parent, to say, have that conversation if it's work related. If it is that you're just not being present, that's something that father really has to take some introspect, or some conversation would have had to be had for the father to understand that the absence of results will result in this over time. If you don't want these impact to occur, you will have to be available and being present. I can't overemphasize. I shared that in some of my notes earlier. In terms of the development and the confidence of that child goes a far way. My parents are always present for all of my. So I used to do tracks. I used to play the sport of cricket. I do music. I play the piano. I sing. They were always in these events and competitions, and it was natural for me to carry that. I'm carrying that DNA because that was what I saw. That was always invested in me. to ensure that even for my wife, we are there at the front cheering on the kids. So yes, being present is absolutely important for the development and well-being of that child.
Thank you so much. We're going to round up in the next 17 minutes. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, another advice continuing with the point today is really important that another thing for her opportunity is to say, do you ask grandpa or do you inform your father in advance? Because like he says, that's his time to talk with the supervisor about that time. If you didn't inform on time, you that can do, can you do ask for permission to attend you the PTA? And I'm pretty sure all the schools have the calendar when it's the PTA meeting. Show that to your father in advance and did that. You say he asked me, that is really important because when you are there, when you attend that, I feel more confident. I don't feel I am alone here. I feel supported from you. Try to tell that, say that to your father, and also try to inform in advance. Don't say the meeting or tomorrow we have a meeting, a parent meeting. That gives you time to your father to ask supervision.
Because to provide, it
Yeah.
takes a lot of hours.
Yeah,
It's
that's
gonna
awesome.
take something.
Yeah.
So I'll miss something because of that sacrifice. So that's an excellent idea as to helping the planning and the preparation so that I can be available for some of them.
Because I do know that I mean, I will take my job as an example. I can't just like, I find I can call off as emergency, yes, but I can't just call off like that without my supervisor knowing that. They gave me 48 hours. No, I must be able to pass. If I'm going to be out, I must be able to pass across that information 48 hours early. So if you can't come in the morning and tell me you're having a this today and expect me to call off that day, except it's an emergency. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to give time. You have to explain to him, let him know that, okay, fine, or I'm going to be having this event on Sunday. Let him put it in his calendar. And then remind him over time so that he can actually talk about it with his own boss or his supervisor and get the time for you, get a schedule so that he can put it in time so that he can come around.
Right.
Okay. Thank you so much. For those that have these questions, we won't be able to take all the questions because we still have like 15 more questions and we are to round up in the next 13 minutes, in the next 16 minutes. So I'm just going to pick it randomly. So maybe I will discuss with Mr. Tanel later on. If he can answer the questions, then I will put it on the platform. Maybe with that will help. So I'm just going to pick it randomly. This one says, this question is so funny to me. My father does not respect my privacy and constantly checks my phone. How can I set boundaries?
Your father.
You can't even do that with my own father. With privacy.
Setting boundaries. Setting boundaries. So I've not crossed that threshold just yet. But I'm just gonna go off an experience from my own childhood. So yes, it is true. It is true that there should be some measure of boundary, but it's also true that sometimes when you are under the direction and leadership of your parents or your guardians, so long as you are under their supervision legally, they do have the right to, if it is that they have, for whatever their suspicion or concern, to inquire further. And sometimes that privacy may be breached. I'm putting that quote. It may be breached, and there might be an offense. That there is a border on so on and so forth. And sometimes that looks different relationship to relationship, because sometimes in trusting relationship also, where that dynamic between the parent and child's trust level is at such a place, it will look different. So like I was the type of person, I was always open. I was open about some challenges, some struggles, and I was careful not to allow it to go down to that road. But by having the conversation, so I had the conversations. Mom, dad, such and such and such. Trying not to hide, especially when you're not at that mature level to be doing stuff like that, because they will. Um, you could try a conversation, it may or may not work, but at least you know you made an attempt to have a conversation. Um, but it had to have been for some reason why in that parent's mind that they felt the need to go this extent, because there's something amiss. And when something is amiss in a parent's mind, we are very investigative and we are going to inquire to the end until we're able to solve this thing. So yes, they do have the right to, if they feel the need to be constantly doing as the question is asking, then there are some trust deficit going on, why they constantly feel the need and they can't trust you, and so they have to resort to this.
Thank you so much. Yes, sir. You want to say something? Want to say something?
No, as you say, at some point, the path of the truth has been break, and that's to be, and that was broken at some point, because if the father has to do that consent, it's because that happened. What do you have to do now? Is try to build it, that's fact, and your father can trust on you, and you don't, I'm pretty sure, if he trusts whatever you say, or what do you say to me, that it will not, don't need go to your phone to investigate, to be curious about what you're doing. That's because at some point of your path, the trust has been breaking.
And then we also ask the question: Who bought the phone?
Who bought it?
Who's paying for the bills of the
That's
phone?
good. That's true.
I'm
That's
just.
what I'm saying. For as long as you're under their
That's the
supervision,
thing.
even your possession.
He bought the phone. He brought it to this world.
Yeah.
That's few things that people should understand. He brought the phone. He bought the phone for you. He's paying for the bills on the phone. So it's as much as his. If you're the one paying for your bills and you're paying for the phone, then he doesn't have it. You can say, "Oh, this is my boundary now. I'm the owner of the phone. I bought it for myself. I'm paying for the bills on the phone." Then your dad may not have any authority over it. But as much as he is the one still paying for the bills of the phone, he can make do with the phone at the time and say, "Let me see your phone. Let me see your chat." Because the world is going to an instance where if some things are not checked with front, some things are not checked with our kids, before you know it, they might get into a wrong end. Like a young girl that was kidnapped, I think it was in Texas or so, or that was raped and killed in Texas or thereabouts. If the parents have checked her phone, they will have known that she was in communication with some guys. So let's be sincere about ourselves here. Privacy or not privacy. If you know your child, she's going through some phase of life or whatever, it behoves us as parents to be concerned.
Yeah.
Because God forbid, the parents of that child that was killed, they can't bring the child back. Even if the child is alive and is being raped at all, for crying out loud, should not be the same. So, is the phone the important thing right now? If somebody checking your phone, you're 12 years or 13 years of age, somebody checking your phone is for your own good. So, like you said, trust. Build a trust. Let him understand, okay, Dad, this is what is happening. Mom, this is what is happening. Let them be part of your life. Let them be part of it. Let them be part of conversation. And before you know it, when the love grows, hatred ceases. Then problem of phone or no phone ceases. You know that yes, you can put. Mom can check through your phone. Dad can check through your phone because they still paying the bills anyway. And with time you understand, especially when you grow up, you understand that there's only business for myself to keep me safe.
And so probably setting forth those terms at the beginning. Okay, if I give you this device, these are the terms of the arrangement.
Yep.
I will, from time to time,
Check
if
through it.
I have my reasons, go through your phone. As a parent, I can't be absent from these things.
No.
I will be negligent
Definitely.
in my role.
Yep.
In not, looking through for whatever my suspicion.
Yep.
So it's a part of the parenting piece.
Yeah, that's true. And
but the trust will determine the balance of it.
yeah, that's true. And I just remembered one of the importance of checking phone as well. I remember the case of a young girl. I think that girl too was maybe 10 or 11, was chatting. There are so many apps now that even these children, they're now so smart. with all these dating apps that they can lie about their age. Actually, dating app is 18 and above, but they lie that they are 18. So for them to gain entrance, and I think it was a boy. The parents are always so the father. I think maybe the father left, the mother had to remarry. So the mother always just come home in a short period of time, go back to work because the mother is on long hour shift. And the stepfather does not care because it's not his son. So he's always on his device and doing a video call. I guess maybe he was asked to naked himself, blah, blah, blah. The other party recorded it and started sending threats that is going to make the naked whatever viral. The guy was so scared. And from there, he was led to pornography. The mother was not aware. Now he's now so engrossed with pornography. By the time the mother would get to know, because the teachers noticed that this boy started acting strange in school, but it was now it is now so deep in porn that he had to start going for counseling now. Look at the havoc that is even causing now, because there are some wounds that it's not easy to be healed. It's not easy to be healed. Another one, the guy had to commit suicide because he was scared that, his nakedness is going to go viral. He committed suicide. This will be her last question. I feel trapped in an unhappy marriage, but fear the consequences of leaving. What resources are available to help me make an informed decision?
So I don't know the nature of the trapped. I don't know the extent of the specifics of it, but what I always do recommend is counseling. Rental counseling is always available. It is always it is your antidote, I want to say. It is part of the treatment that will support even the turn, the changes, the transformation, the reunification of that marriage back together. And it will also even be that space where communication is even handled and managed. The person who is conducting it, whether it be the therapist or a spiritual leader, will navigate appropriately and communicate also professionally appropriately to the man what this looks like, to the woman what is this looking like, so that clarity will be available to support the outcome. Right? So I would say have the conversation to say we need to do this because this is where I am, and I need some clarity. And I think this is part of what will help support that.
Counseling, community outreach. I mean, speak to your man, let him know. Like I said, you can't. It's not a Highland thing.
Yeah.
It takes two to tango. You feel you're trapped. Somehow, the man may be feeling the same thing as his trap. So what you can do is, why don't you both sit down and talk about it? We talk about it, and then from there, probably you go for counseling.
Yeah.
Find a resourceful counselor that can talk to both of you, and then find a way to go around it. And then if it's not possible, then we can find a next solution. I don't know what that solution may be. Maybe everybody go their own different ways, but at least start with counseling. Talk about it. Go out there, look for someone that can help both of you. Professional support. And then you can go from there.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And this is one of the reasons why we started Mindful Mom, an environment whereby people come together to be able to express themselves. And most of the time we do our things anonymously. That's why we have all our questions typed out already. So it will be like, oh, that's what you're going through in your home or something. So that when we come to our meetings like this, we come together, you can freely ask questions, interact together, we learn from each other. And as well, we have a therapeutic call center at EOC. I'm going to dictate the number now, and it is anonymous as well. It's confidential. They're not going to share it with anyone. You just have to speak up. You need to speak out as early as possible. In the course of you seeking help early, it will help your home. It will help you to restore your marriage. We've heard from men's perspective today, from women's perspective. It is not easy. No one is God. They don't know your mind. So you have to talk about it. I'm going to call the number for the therapeutic call center. It's 516-202-7394. 516-202-7394. And as well, if you want to send me a DM, you can use any of our social media platforms to send DM. I will respond to you personally. You have questions or you need someone to talk to, you can schedule an appointment with me as well. I am ready to listen, to give you listening ear. You need someone that you really need to pour out your heart. I'm available. And you can make use of our EOC call center as well. Also, I want to talk about the National Health Center Week 2024 coming up, powering community through caring connections. It's going to be in Nassau County. You can make use of any of the Harmony Healthcare are very close to you. We have one in Westbury, we have in Roosevelt, we have in Hempstead, Freeport, and Elmont. Freeport and Elmont. So you can make use of any of these centers to attend the National Week. And in case you need a family health center, you can easily make use of Harmony Healthcare as well. They are across Nassau County. If you don't have Medicaid or Medicare, they have on-site insurance company that can assist you to set up your health insurance. Please, if you are sick, don't stay at home. I don't have much, I'm not working. Try to seek for help. Walk down to Harmony Healthcare around you. And I can tell you, you will enjoy their services, and they have multilingual services. So if you're not speaking English, you're speaking Spanish, Creole, they have different interpreters there that can help. Thank you so much for joining us today. Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. We are in that process of enrolling new families into the program. So if you know of anyone who has children between the ages of 3 to 5 year old looking for free pre-K services, Head Start is your place. We have 8 locations across Nassau County. There's one in Freeport, Westbury, Eastern Nassau, that's in Wanta, Rockwell Center, Five Towns, Roosevelt, Long Beach. So if it is that you have children or you know of families who have children between the ages of 3 to 5 seeking free pre-K services, Head Start is your place. You can visit our website at the EOC of Nassau County, EOC Nassau County. You can do your applications there and any information that you need. We're engaging still in our full recruitment initiatives across the county. So look us up and join our Head Start team. Miss Angelo, she's a part of the Head Start initiative and program. And so she's engaging as one of the pieces that we focus on is parental engagement and supporting our families as advocates and leaders in community, and she's absolutely clearly practicing in that role. So I'm thankful for the opportunities today, and I wish you guys all the best.
That's cool.
The DAS Club, we also have a DAS Club in the agency. We meet once per month. We had our Father's celebration all across the program. We are coming to our program closure, so we'll resume our activities in September. So be on the lookout for more details.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really want to appreciate Miss Anisat. She joined us early and she stand by throughout the program on our Google Meets, and every other person that got connected one way or the other. Thank you so much. We really appreciate this encouragement. Thank you, Mr. Tanel. Thank you for stopping by. We really appreciate your coming around. Till next month, we are going to meet again 4th Wednesday in July, fourth Wednesday in July. Thank you so much. God bless you. Have a nice day. Bye.